24 hours ago, I released a video that got over 100,000 views and have 1,000 comments, and I've never been more hated in my life. You seem like a little weasel to me. Better off, grow up, little boy. I wouldn't trust you as far as I could kick you. There's no way you're actually this big of an incompetent asshole, right? This must be fake. 10 minutes of listening to this guy's self-aggrandizing attitude, and I already want to quit, and I don't even work there.
This dude sucks.
Wow, you made a video about how crappy a boss you are. Loser, your arrogance is absolutely nauseating. People like you are the problem in business in US these days.
Never trust a man with noodle arms. Oh, wow, that's a good one.
So here's what happened. I had put out a video talking about how I bought a shop just like this one, and then within 2 weeks, every single employee quit. And a lot of people are saying, you know, I'm the problem, they quit because of me. And there is some truth to this that I want to get into because you guys are right in some of these things, but there's some other stuff that, you know, I'm going to stand my ground on. And one of the biggest comments I got was related to our process when we buy a store. We don't tell anybody that we now own it until the day that it's done. I understand there's a lot of insecurity about your job when the business gets sold. Because people have fear that the new owner is going to come and change things, they may try to quit and go find another job before even giving me, the new owner, a chance. We recognize that. And so our goal when we buy a store is to make the transition as smooth as we can. And how we do this is pretty simple. When we walk in, every single person that is working for the seller, we offer jobs to at the same exact pay rates that they're making with them. Often we give them a better bonus plan where they can make more money if they perform. We backdate tenure, so any paid time off or anything they've earned with the seller, it starts with us on day one, so they're not starting from over. And yeah, I could have done a better job in that video explaining kind of all these details. But here's the thing, if somebody quits before they even give us a chance, they could be missing out on a huge opportunity. You look like a young Gavin Newsom, hands waving like a whirly gig in a tornado. Now, out of all the comments I got, this one hurts the most. So in the video, I talk about how the 3 guys who quit left to start their own shop. And a bunch of you said how they're way better off without me, and kudos to them. And you're right, like I couldn't agree more. I'm all about entrepreneurship and people starting their own business, betting on themselves. Honestly, it's why I make YouTube videos sharing the stories of how I built my business and what I'm continuing to do every single day. And I'm okay getting roasted in these comments and now having my daughter call me noodle arms because I'm doing it for you guys that are builders and know what it takes. And so yeah, totally happy for them. I hope they do really well. I've had multiple people leave to start their own companies, and I think it's absolutely great. We need more of that in America. Another thing I noticed in a lot of the comments was this clear divide between people who thought that like I'm the bad guy because everybody quit and that everyone should have been given a fair chance and this and that. And then there's another side that said, listen, like, when a new boss comes in, they have higher expectations. And maybe they realized that the writing was going to be on the walls, that they were lazy. They didn't want to do the things that I wanted to do. And that's okay, right? Because like if you want to be in the top 1% and you want to absolutely crush it, you got to build a team of A players who also want to crush it. Some people just don't have what it takes. And that's okay, they can move on and work for my competitors. I also got a lot of hate about Midas. Now, here's the thing, Midas has 1,000 locations nationwide. They are a franchise, which means every single location is independently owned. So me and my brother are the owners of this store and 35 others. And we run our shops the way we want them done. We're just happen to have a Midas name and brand and something that people recognize. The challenge of this is some people have a bad experience. Many of you in the comments talked about, you got ripped off at a shop or someone didn't treat you well. This guy said that he went to Midas in the 1970s, many years ago, and every time he left, his butthole ached from the screwing that he got. And then he goes on to say that he also had a similar experience at other automotive shops, and it wasn't just us. And I told him I felt sorry about his butthole. But we do our best with every single customer to build trust. Like I'm in this thing for the long run. I'm gonna be in this business for multiple decades. Why would I intentionally screw over customers? Like that's not how you build a business. And so we try to show people what's wrong with their cars. We have payment plans to help make it affordable because nobody expects their car is gonna need a bunch of work. And so we do things to make it easier. And you are right that there are some bad apples. There are some guys that definitely could do better. Even in my shops, like we fired multiple people for things that we didn't believe and didn't want it done. And so we're doing the best we can, just like every other business owner out there. The good news is though, I'm winning them over one by one. Like this guy who said, you suck. They gave you the same treatment that they received. surprise, and instead of moving on, you troll them. You suck. And so I responded that you'd probably enjoy my other video where I bought a shop and then fired everyone immediately. To which he said, haha, I gotta admit, mate, there's something likable about you, you hard ass. But don't forget, these people are not numbers on a spreadsheet. And you suck. In the video, I called my ex-employee's shop pretending to be a customer because I wanted to see how good they were on the phones. And then I also called one of my shops to see how we did with the same scenario. I can see what they're saying about the phone call itself being a little deceptive. But the truth is, we don't want to complicate it. We don't want to get into all these things that really just aren't necessary when the goal is to win the visit. And a ton of you had feedback on this, where the other shop gave us a price, $450 for brakes, and he said he couldn't do it for 4 or 5 days. And in my shop, we were friendly on the phones, we invited them in today, and we gave them a price that starts at $150. Now, some of the comments said that, our phone spiel definitely sounds better to the customer, but it's pretty unrealistic, because if someone has grinding brakes, which I gave in the scenario, that 150 is a very low probability that we can fix that. And the other guy was at least honest on what it thinks it could take. Now here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. We have no idea what's wrong with a customer's car when they call us. And to be honest, they have no idea either. People make up stuff. They'll say grinding brakes, and it could be something completely different. So why would we spend a bunch of time giving them worst case scenario on something that it may not even be it? And instead, we focus on win the visit. How do we do that? We're friendly. Yeah, we are friendly. We practice that. We want them to smile before picking up the phone because people generally go into businesses where they feel that they can trust somebody. And then, in terms of the pricing, he's right. We don't want to give pricing over the phone. We only do it if we feel pushed. But we are going to give a starting out price. We're going to give the best case scenario, which is true. We sell brakes for about $200 for just the pads installed. We have a $50 coupon. Boom, $150. Why would we give somebody, pads and rotors and calipers and that they need $2,000 worth of work when we don't even know what it is? And it could honestly be as simple as a rock is stuck here in a rotor, and we could literally just take the tire off, we could pluck out the rock, and we can send them on their way. We have done that. That has happened in my car. And honestly, we probably wouldn't even charge them because it'd be so simple. And our goal is to build relationships with people, not just, get a bunch of money. And as for the phone calls being staged or fake, come on guys, why would I fake it? I have multiple other videos doing the same thing. You can check those out later. Now let's get into some of the comments where I gotta stand my ground. I talk about how I'm not a mechanic. I've never fixed a car in my life. And as one of you said, that's why everyone quit. This is the classic, I have no idea how to do your job, but here's how I want it done. And the truth is, a great team requires people at different positions. And I have the utmost respect of every single mechanic that works for me. And I've worked in these shops for 15 years. I've worked shoulder to shoulder. Why I don't have the technical abilities to do the repairs, can name every single part that in this engine that we could fix, why it needs to get done, and have a pretty good idea of the level of difficulty. I respect what they do. I know what it's like. And at the end of the day, there's different skill sets. My skill set as the business owner is to make sure the place runs every day, to get customers in here, to make sure people have good experience, to make sure we have vendors, to deal with insurance and admin and payroll. And there's all these different things that the business owner deals with to assemble a great team. Just like a great football team. You gotta have people in different positions and roles, and it all works together as a team. That's how you win championships. And you don't have to be a technical master in every aspect of your business. One guy said here that I should be the smartest person in the room and that's why they quit. But I believe the opposite, which is I actually want to be the dumbest person in the room. I want to surround myself by a bunch of really smart people and know that that's how we're going to get better and that's how we're going to grow. And because I don't know how to fix cars, I instead developed 2 skills. One is my ability to hire really good mechanics to know how to get them on board, how to structure pay plans that's attractive, and how to then keep the best ones. And that skill, in terms of hiring and retaining your best people, is infinitely scalable. Because if I was a great mechanic, I could work on one car at a time, and that's the max I can do. If I am really good at hiring and retaining people, I have 250 employees now. Our goal is to double, to get to 500 employees that we can provide great jobs, we serve our communities. And so if you really want to grow a business, even if you are a technical person right now, you want to learn how to develop the other skills of hiring, delegating, managing, leading, because those will honestly make you a lot more money in the long run. Someone said, your playbook could be the problem, and that the way that we do things is why everyone quit, and then I'm the problem, right? All right, let's say that you have this recipe to bake chocolate chip cookies, and it worked perfectly 31 times. And then one time, those cookies turned out a little bit salty. Would you completely rewrite your playbook? Would you completely throw it out and be like, no, this thing's total crap? Or would you think, that's a little weird. Maybe I should try it again and then see what happens. This isn't our first rodeo. I've bought 32 shops just like this one where we go in and acquire them from day one, and it's a big surprise and everything that we talked about here. And the truth is that most of the time it actually works really well and has allowed us to build a company that does $55 million a year. We are in the 0.4% of all companies in the US in terms of sales. I know it can come off a little bit arrogant, but really it's more about confidence in that we have a proven playbook that works. We've run it many times. I've been in this business now for 15 years. I've been an owner for the last 10 years. And so we have something that's worked, that's built this big company. I am more than willing to listen to ideas of people that work for me, who try new things, who show me the results, and then we're gonna implement them.
I don't even know what you're saying.
All right, so I lost my train of thought because our manager out here has a system that makes announcements that sometimes mess up making videos. But that's what it's like in a real business, trying to make videos, show you guys what it's really like. I'm not trying to hide behind some computer talking about AI crap or buying laundromats to make no money or vending machines. Well, that's for another day. So our playbook, it works. I know it comes off arrogant sometimes, but it really confidence. If you have a proven way that makes money, you gotta trust your gut. And when someone new walks in and 5 minutes after you employ them, they start trying to tell you how to run your business and what you need to do and how they're not gonna do this and that. If you bend to all those things, then they're gonna ask for more and more and more. And before long, you have no process, you have no system. Everyone's gonna do whatever the hell they want. And your business is gonna suck and you're not gonna make any money and you're gonna hate it. So don't let people do that to you. Did I change any of your minds? If so, let me know in the comments, or if you still think I'm a dick. And if you're interested in seeing more videos on how I built my business, check out this video.